Hey brother, how's the house hunting going? You ever see the Walking with Dinosaurs special with the Allosaurus? The Ballad of Big Al? Yeah, I'm at the part where he broke his toe and he dies. Well, let's see what houses you're looking at. Big Keith, this is a 7-bedroom duplex. This one is a Scottish castle. And this one is a mushroom hut in Smurf village. Besides some of these properties being fictitious, none of these are realistic. With your income, you can't afford these. Well, yeah, Dodoy. I thought of that. So I found a few properties that are probably discounted. This is a house that 16 people have died from apparent demonic possession. And this is the Epstein Island. Hey man, you gotta buy low. Hello, friends of the channel and potentially threatening spirits. Let's talk about buying a house, but more so specifically, what price you should buy a house for. The answer is a price you can afford. Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Well, we're still here, so I guess there's more that I need to say. Let's start simple. Now, unless the mattress you sleep upon rests on a box spring entirely made of cash, odds are you're not going to buy the house outright. You're most likely going to get a mortgage. A mortgage is essentially a loan for a home. A loan for a home, 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 a loan for a home. Now, when you go and get a mortgage, you want to get the lowest rate you can possibly get and a reasonable length for the loan. Now, if you buy a house with mortgage A at 12% interest and a 35-year term versus mortgage B with a 9% interest and a 25-year term, the difference is incredible. Let's say you look into buying the Demon Murder home. It sells for $200,000. Taxes and insurance aside, mortgage A with the higher interest rate and the longer term, you would pay nearly $350,000 more dollars if you went with mortgage A. With mortgage A having a monthly payment of $2,031 and mortgage B having a monthly payment of $1,678.39. To calculate the monthly payment, you can use a mortgage calculator on Google, which is easy, or you can use this fun equation here. Knowing how to calculate this is very important for the rest of the video. In addition, taxes and insurance will be an added expense, often calculated into the mortgage payments, and we will be sure to go over that here soon. The first rule of real estate is location, location, location. When you're buying a house, you can't just think about the price that you paid for the house, but also where the house is. This is important because of the taxes. If you live in an area that provides a good school, public amenities, roads, etc., you're probably going to pay higher property taxes, which factors into the monthly payment of your housing. This isn't Smurf Village, okay? If you don't pay your property taxes, the government will take your house, or the bank. So when looking at the house, you'll want to know its assessed value and the millage of the place you live. In some places, it's a set value based on a given year, like here in Pennsylvania. Other times, it's the price you paid for it. Check with your local county government to understand how this works. Once you know the value and you get the millage, you multiply it together to figure out what you pay in taxes. So if the value of the Bloom house is $200,000 and the millage is 17.09, you'll move the decimal point of the millage to the left 3 times, giving you 0.01709. You take that number, multiply it by this assessed amount, and you get $3,418 as your annual tax amount. Now divide that number by 12, the number of months in the year, and you get $284.83 as your monthly payment. Location can be important in determining other costs as well. Another example is your insurance. So if you live in California, where there's wildfires, odds are your insurance will be a lot higher than a place like Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And if you're far away from a fire station, this could also increase your cost of insurance. However, everything from the material used to build the house, to the age of the house, to how many people have been used in ritualistic sacrifices, to the pagan god Asmurmov the Malice, can influence insurance premiums. For the sake of this video, we'll say $150 per month for insurance. So if we add all these monthly expenses together, the mortgage payment, the taxes, and the insurance, using Mortgage B, we have a monthly housing expense of $2,113.22. You notice we haven't gotten to the price you should pay for the house yet, and that's because there's one last factor we haven't talked about, the most important factor in the whole world. That factor is you. Okay, well, I mean, my wife is the most important. Well, you're a close 723,000 or something like that. Yes, the last piece of the puzzle when considering the right price to pay for a home is you. But more specifically, your income and the rule of 28. The rule of 28 is kind of like one of those house rules for a game of Monopoly. You don't have to do it, but it'll potentially allow for more opportunities throughout your playthrough. The rule of 28 states you don't use more than 28% of your monthly income towards paying on a house. That includes mortgage, taxes, and insurance. This rule helps you avoid being what we call house poor, meaning that you're able to have a life outside of just paying your mortgage. So for example, let's say you make $2,000 a month, and using the rule of 28, you could only afford a house with a total monthly expense of $560 a month, which luckily means that you won't be able to afford the Hills Have Eyes house. That being said, we did use a very high interest rate for that example. So let's change the interest rate to 5%. So the new monthly payment, including taxes and insurance, would be $1,604.01, which would be significantly cheaper, but still unaffordable. So based on an income of $2,000, what price should you pay for a house? Applying the rule of 28, the cheapest house that you can afford, which is an astounding So using the rule of 28, let's say you wanted to buy the house from Wrong Turn with the $1,604.01 monthly payment. How much money would you need to make a month? $5,728.61. That's an annual salary of roughly $69,000. Nice. Now that is scary. So when looking to buy a house, apply these same principles and find a house that's affordable for you, so you may have a bright financial future. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, buying a house may feel like buying a castle, but with the rule of 28, you won't have to slay a dragon to get one. We'll see you next time. Hey man, you gotta buy low. Well, that guy bought low.